Hi, friends. I'm so glad that you are able to join us for part of the telethon. This is our second year doing the telethon. Last year was kind of an experiment and it went really well. It went really well. People were happy to get calls, and it did increase our participation in our stewardship campaign as well. So we're trying it again. And I'm so glad that you're able to help. August LaPerche, our new director of operations, and I are working together on getting the list of people ready. So we'll have that ready to go next week for the telethon. If you're calling from home, I hope you've let me know that already. So I'll be able to send you some material, some names and everything when we get closer. And if you're calling from church, please know that the scripts and note papers will be ready for you there, and your list of names as well. So easy peasy. What I want to do in this video is make sure that we've walked through the script, that we've talked a little bit about tips and tricks to make sure that you are set up to do the calls in an easy and comfortable way for yourself. So I'm going to share the script here onto the screen. So hopefully you can see that now. Put it where I can see it too. Yeah, okay. So this is the script for this year. It's pretty similar to last year if you did it last year. So as you're going down, basically you dial in the number and you see if they pick up. And if they do, then you start in on this first part where you identify yourself, be cheerful, be friendly, let people know that you're happy to talk with them, basically. So you're saying, I'm trying to make a connection with everybody who's part of this church. I was glad to get your name. That's a really helpful thing to say to people. You can edit this to language that makes sense to you, that sounds natural to you. You don't have to say it exactly this way. Some people like to use the script as is. Some people like to use it as sort of principles. If you're more into principles, you can see this beginning part up here. You can use that as a general framework and ignore all the rest of it if you want to. You've got an intro. You say some things about stewardship, you check in with them, you remind them that church is a good place, and you thank them. That's the whole call. So you do your intro. You say a little something about stewardship. We will have noted already on the form whether or not the person has returned their commitment card or we have a commitment from them. If they have, then what you're saying is, thank you so much. You're helping us get to our goal of 100% participation. The amounts are not so important as the total participation rate. That's what we're trying to tell people. If they haven't returned a commitment card, you're calling to remind them that we're working towards that goal of 100% participation. This church is the people. The church is the people who are committed to it. So if you haven't done it yet, it would be great to have you send in a commitment card or submit a pledge through Realm at whatever amount makes sense for you and your family if they have a family. So, and we may have noted for some of them that people are giving in an ongoing way but haven't made a pledge. And if that's true, then you'll know that too. And you'll say, thank you for your ongoing giving. You are part of what's keeping this church going. I wanted to check if you're planning to keep giving at that level or if anything is changing. You can also choose that moment to encourage them to think about giving their pledge a cost of living increase, because we've had some inflation. And so a gift of $100 a month isn't worth as much as it was a few years ago. So if people are able, that's something you can encourage them to think about. But you move right on from the stewardship part to say, I'm also calling just to check in. How are you doing? Are there any big changes happening in your life these days? What's going on? Basically, if they tell you anything there, write it down. I'll show you, we have this notes to print document. You'll have a document where you can take some notes. If you're making calls from home, you can make your notes however you like. You can put them right in an email and send it to me. We'll get the information there. So who you've called and anything you learn, write that down, because that's part of the point of this. And then this is all about whether you know the person. It might be that you don't know them. That's fine. If that's the case, just assume that they've been around, basically. If you know them and they haven't been around, you can say a little something about that too. But these are just two different options for ways that you could talk about church a little bit. You could say, I had such a great time on the retreat in September, or I've met so many nice new people lately. It's great to encourage people to come to Trunk or Treat or other upcoming events. Just let people know, hey, church is happening and it's an exciting time to be a part of it, right? We're reminding people, I'm looking forward to something or other. And then that's it. You get to the end of it and you say, hey, thanks for answering the phone. It was great to chat with you. I hope I'll see you at church soon. That's the whole thing. Super chill. We will note a few people on this list who are newcomers, and we've made a special, slightly smaller script for newcomers where you give a little bit more of an introduction to yourself, where you say, I've been part of this church for 15 years. Here are some things I value about it. I was the moderator a few years ago, whatever. And you give them a little more information about the funding, since sometimes new folks don't know. It's great to ask them a question about themselves. Hey, I'm not sure if we've ever talked at church. How did you get connected in the first place? Or have you been in the Bay Area long? Or what do you do for work? And ask them if they have any questions that you could answer. That's a great way to connect with newcomers as well. So we've made a slightly different script. If you don't know whether someone is new or not, better to stick to the other script. We'll try to make a note for people that are newish. Finally, the thing that you probably will have happen more than anything else is you'll get voicemail for people. This happened a lot last year, and that's fine. All you do is you leave them a message. You say, hey, it's so-and-so from First Church Berkeley calling as part of our telethon. We're trying to connect with everybody who calls this their church. I'd love to chat with you, so you could call me back in the next hour. Or you could say, you could call me back tomorrow night. Or you could say, if I don't reach you tonight, someone else will call you tomorrow. Or feel free to text, whatever works for you. You can feel free to text them if you want to. It's not a requirement, but if you want to text, or if you want to try to email them instead, after you've tried to call, that's fine too. Depending on the person, an email might make more sense. So these are generational things with that. So so that's the voicemail. And then I've got a bunch of sort of if-thens, like FAQs that you might run into. If someone says, what's the telethon? Here's some answers with that. If someone says, hey, I actually need help with Realm, you tell them, get in touch with August. August is the one who's going to help them with Realm. And if you're talking about August, make sure you use they, them pronouns. If they say, hey, I already turned in my pledge, why are you asking me for that? You should definitely follow up with that a little bit. Don't fight them on it for sure, but do say, can you tell me how you submitted that so that we can find out if there's some error somewhere? Sometimes people ask about children's stuff. You can tell them we just hired a new coordinator of children's involvement and stuff about that. People may ask about the capital campaign, so I put a little information in this document about that. I don't think we're going to get this, but if somebody says, hey, I'm actually mad at church right now, let them talk, take some notes, let us know, let them know that you're going to let us know so that we can follow up. If people have COVID questions, we've got some info about that too. And every once in a while, we find somebody who says, actually, I've joined another church. Great information. So just write it down and we'll follow up on it for you. That's all we need from you. So we found last year, some people really got into, I'll stop the share. Some people got into several long conversations and that took up their whole evening. Some people left 25 voicemails and that was the whole evening. That's okay. That's okay. This is a touch point. It doesn't really matter which happens. If it happens one way or the other, both are fine. The main point is we tried, we reached out, we said, hey, we remember you, we care about you, we want you to be part of the community. Are you in? That's the main thing. So there's your training video. I hope all of that is pretty straightforward. You can ask me any questions that you have, and I'll be there for both nights. So any questions that remain, I will be in the room. So feel free to stop and ask me anything that you need. And if you're talking to someone and they have a specific question, you can always try to flag me down and I might know the answer. So the support will be there, the pizza will be there, the fellowship will be there. I am looking forward to seeing you there or to sending you stuff so you can make calls online. Thank you again very much, and I will look forward to seeing you soon.